Ada.
Okay. Assalamualaikum to all my friends and my beloved lecturer, Sir Muhammad Farhan bin Muhammad Alim. So today, me and my pairing will present about the restaurant service, which is Chinese service. So let me introduce myself. My name is Nana Yasir binti Rohani, and my partner is Muhammad Izzat Izani bin Muhammad Sabri from the DHM20. So this is what we're gonna present about this Chinese service, which is my part is I will present about background of Chinese service, example of menu, advantages and disadvantages, and the last is conclusion. So the rest is what is restaurant operation, background of Chinese service, equipment or tableware involved during deliver the service, and table setting. My friend will present about it. So I will pass to the next presenter. Encik dah.
Tak ada punya slide ke? Okay, so now I will explain about what is restaurants. Firstly, in restaurant, usually food will be served by a waiter or waitress. As we know, in restaurants, we will be served by waiter or waitress. They need to be welcome a guest before ask them to sit. After that, the waiter or waitress need to take an order from guys and give that order to the chef to prepare the foods. That is in French verb. Restaurant means restore. The restore means is to keep restore. This word restaurant we to describe just a shops. Thirdly is restaurant have many types of concept. As we know in a restaurant, we can see that many concepts with different types. It was to attract the guests to look feel that concepts. For example, restaurant names. We need to name our restaurant names with a pretty good idea of type of food we serve. The names needs to be memorable, preferably simple and authentic. Next concept that we can see is menu writings. For example, the descriptions of your foods can be as literal as listing of the ingredients. We can put visual image or abstract story to make a description of foods. So we can see many types of concepts in many restaurants. The second last is place people can eat all the meals and pay for it. As we know, we can eat the meals in a restaurant and pay for it. We have two suggestions. The first is we can eat first the meals. After that, we must pay the meals. The second is we can pay first and eat the meals. Beside that, we can choose to eat in restaurants or uh, take out. In the modern era, we also can choose to take cash on delivery. The last is restaurant also have teams. As we know, we in restaurants also have many teams. For example, all China's cafes. These teams more to traditional. Uh, if we go to the traditional teams like all China's cafes, you will step through in time one. It can take you back in times. It because you will step through its time-worn wooden swing doors. The next restaurant is the Dream Cafes. This theme can bring back fond childhood memories. It because it brings a cartoon like Doraemon's and and many themes can be get in restaurants. Next slide. So this is for restaurant operations. The first is activity that are carried out in the restaurants to run the business. So in restaurants have and operations such as what times the restaurant will be open and what time the restaurant will be closed. In the operation also have timetables. For example, Mondays who will work and Tuesday who will work and take holiday. Uh, in that timetable also have what tasks must the staff must do. The second is in restaurant operation also have an operation manuals. In operation manuals have divided to many points. For example, general housekeeping. His task it must to take sure restaurants will have project a message of professionalism. Next is opening procedure. So restaurant managers need to arrive at restaurants 30 minutes before the general operating hours. It have many operation manual that we can know, like closing procedures, cleaning procedures, and more. The last restaurant operation is in restaurant have procedures. These procedures very important in restaurants because to make sure that safety in restaurant in a good condition. It also can care about safety to staff and also to the guys. Next slide.
So this is background of the Chinese service. Okay, Chinese cuisine is an important part of Chinese culture, which includes cuisine from various regions in China as well as from overseas Chinese who have settled in the world. So this is due to the Chinese diaspora and the historical strength of the country. Chinese cuisine has influenced many other cuisine in Asia with modifications made to suit local tastes. Furthermore, Chinese cuisine such as rice, soy sauce, noodles, tea, chili oil, and tofu, and utensils such as chopsticks and panes are now available worldwide. Apart from that, the preference for seasoning and cooking technique in Chinese territory depends on the difference in historical background and ethnic group. So for my second point is modern Chinese cuisine is Anhui, Guangdong, Fujian, Henan, Jiangsu, Shandong, Sichuan, and Zhejiang cuisines. Color, smell, and taste are three traditional aspects used to describe Chinese food along with the meaning, appearance, and nutrition of the food. Cooking should be evaluated with respect to ingredients used like knife work, cooking time, and seasoning. So, for my last point is among them are geographical features including mountains, rivers, forests, and deserts, also have a strong influence on the local materials available, as China's climate varies from tropical in the south to subarctic in the northeast. However, the priorities of the government and the architecture also play a role in the change of Chinese cuisine due to the expansion and trend of empires. Cooking materials and technique from other cultures have been incorporated into Chinese cuisine over time. The most praised four major cuisine are Chuan, Lu, Yu, and Haiyang, each representing Western, North, South, and East Chinese cuisines. Next.
Okay, so this is Chinese service style methods. The first is has a unique characteristic. It because all the guests will serve by a chopsticks. All the guests will eat their meals with a chopsticks. The second is using a little lever. With this lever, the guests can share their meals with their friends in one table. It can easy for them to guess all the menus. The third is also serve for a family meals. This will also have a family set. They will be placed in a round table, which is the round table usually serve to a large groups of guests. Uh, the, the fourthly usually eh, have three basic style of meals. Okay, firstly is gong chanshi. It means traditional family style modified. The secondly is juan panshi. It means Chinese lazy Susan service. And the lastly is fan chanshi. It means Western style adopted. Next is usually all the food served by a chopsticks. Like others in as a unique catering points, the guests will eat their foods by a chopsticks. The next is for meal, it will serve a local cereal grain for a primary part of meals. Uh, all the food will serve in a bowl, large platters and other container. The lastly is breakfast. It will serve in a bowl of hot rice, hot, hot rice rolled foods with small or served with pickles and tea. For the equipment or tableware involved during deliver the service. In this service is a different table settings from other service because it use many equipments in this service. Firstly is a rice bowl with a cup of rice we place to the right sides. Next is a cup of tea we place on top of rice balls. Chopstick will place right side of the guest. A round spoon and a bowl will place left side of chopsticks. Small dish for sauce and condiments we place above the small plates, while a small wine cup will keep with condiment sets. Spoon and fork also will serve. Uh, this for who cannot use the chopsticks. Soup cup with a soup spoon will place left of the gas side. The second last is the setting of the gas only can accommodate for 12 people. And the lastly is this share communally. For table setting in Chinese service, uh, place the charger at the bottom, place the dining plate on top, then the then place the salad plates on the dinner plate, and at the top place a cup of tea. Place the chopstick on the right side. Place chopstick rest under the chopsticks. Plate dish is placed on left side of the guys. The saucer is placed at the top of the tables. The second last is soap bowl is placed at the top left of the guest with a soup spoons, and the lastly is the teapot is placed at the top and in the middle between the saucers and the soap bowls.
We continue present about example of menu. So for appetizer is vegetable spring roll. Spring roll is a snack that can be made as an appetizer. In Chinese cuisine, spring rolls are savory rolls with cabbage and other vegetable in a thinly wrapped cylindrical pastry, and it can also be added with chicken or shrimp as a flavor. The ingredients of these spring rolls only need salad, carrot, prawn, or you can use chicken or crab stick. For soup, is white radish soup. White radish soup is famous for helping clean and detoxify our digestive system with a touch of sweetness from red dates and kicks and extra spices from peppercorns. This soup is truly a refreshing, entertaining, and delicious soup which is everyone enjoys once in a while. It also low in calories with almost no cholesterol. This radish cut is an excellent food choice for many people as well. The ingredients of this soup is just need chicken, carrot, red dates, and crushed with white pepper, and you can add some salt as a seasoning. So for main course, I use plain white rice. Plain white rice is very easy to make on the stove, of the perfect portion to serve with almost any recipe. Chinese rice is a very simple and easy recipe that is the perfect side dish for main course. Among the utensils used are just a pot with a lid and a little water that can be boiled until the rice is cooked. The way to cook is just need rice and a little water. For my second main course is superior anchovies fried rice. This is easy to cook and does not use many ingredients. The simplest and the best fried rice recipe much better than healthier than Chinese restaurant or food. Cooking time also does not take a long time and does not make guests to wait. This fried rice only use white rice, eggs, chicken, shrimp, and mixed vegetable. The way to cook is just to prepare white rice, but do not use fresh rice because the rice seeds have too much moisture content and are too starchy to salt. The rice will clump and clump together. And the second is add the chopped onions, then add the chickens, eggs, and mixed vegetable. And the next course is Nyonya Karimi. As we know, the culture of Chinese is noodles. Nyonya cuisine is the result of the blending of Chinese herbs with various spices and cooking technique used by the Malay or Indonesia. The Nyonya recipe is passed down from one generation to the next, and because the preparation of this dish is time consuming, it is a dish that is often best when served at home. Our ingredients is just need meat, and for the curry is chicken, curry powder, coconut milk, fish sauce, turmeric, onion, garlic, ginger, and lemongrass. And for the next is stew steamed fish. This food is quite popular in Malaysia because there are many foods among the Chinese community. Teochew steamed fish is also served with soft tofu and silk and garnished with onions, coriander, and ginger complete the dish. In this Teochew steamed fish recipe, it uses only cooked fillets. The fish fillet coat is more assertive but works well as long as you are not too hot. The ingredients that need is fish, salt and white pepper, tomatoes, sour plums and tofu around the fish. And place the ginger slice on top in a small bowl. Mix all ingredients for the sauce and set aside. Pour the sauce into the pan, bring to a boil and turn off the head. Pour the gravy over the fish and then steam the dish for 6 minutes or until the meat is cooked through. Garnish and serve with steamed rice. Okay, for next is sweet and sour chicken. This is a popular chicken recipe. This healthy and delicious sweet and sour chicken recipe is very tasty with sweet and sour sauce. Sweet and sour Chinese is a simple, delicious and everyone's favorite cooking style. The dish is complete with crispy fried chicken cubes with a delicious sweet and sour sauce. The ingredients only need chicken, then make the sweet and sour chicken butter and coat the chicken with the butter. The combination of plum sauce, Li and Perrins Worcestershire sauce and Chinese rice vinegar make it taste like the best Chinese restaurant. Do not double the sauce. The sauce must be gently coated on top of the chicken cubes so that the chicken stays crispy and not moist. Use baking powder in batter. Baking powder makes the dough light and airy and the chicken will be more crisp and crunchy. So I will pass to the next presenter.
So we will continue. The next menu is hot and sizzling beef. At local Chinese restaurants, they have incredible beef. It is served in a hot pan with onions or shallots. The sauce is dark in color. This is the method how to cooking. Firstly, mix the corn flour, soy sauce, sesame oil, and wine in a bowl. Secondly, slice the beef across the grain, then cut into 1 cm thick strips. Add the beef to the marinade and stir to coat every strip well. Leave for at least half an hour if you can. Next, heat up a wok until smoking. Add the vegetable oil and throw in the marinated beef. Stir fry it for a minute only until the strips color slightly. Remove the beef back into the bowls and keep warm. In addition, add a little more oil to work if it looks dry. Add the chilies and then the vegetables. Stir fry for 5 minutes until they start to color a little. Stir in the black bean and the sweet chili sauce. Return the beef to the wok and stir everything around well. When the vegetable look cooked, divide the stir fries between plates and serve with plain noodle or rice. The next menu is buttercream tiger prawns. Shrimp coated with buttercreams. This is one of the dish of choice for the Chinese because it tastes different from the others because it has the sweetness of fats. This dish also does not use a lot of ingredients. There's only need shrimp and corn flour, and for sure use butter and curry leaves, evaporated milk, sugar, and a pinch of salt. And the lastly for the dessert, lemongrass lychee jellies. It is a very refreshing and delicious cool dessert that is sure to enjoy the comfort of the journey with your family in the afternoons. This ingredient only used for types, which is sweetened grass jelly, 1 can of longan, ice cube, and some plucked mint leaf for decorations. The method is very easy, which is we have to do open the longan and pour all the contents of longans into the glass bowl and add some ice at the glass bowl. Secondly, cut the sweetened grass jelly vertically. And lastly, we can assembly the drinks. The drinks can be enjoyed in a glass or bowls and topped with some mint leaves. Next slide.
So this is the advantages and disadvantages for Chinese service. So what is the advantages for this service? Firstly, the service looks more formal and elegant. Like we all know, as a waiter must wear a smart attire when serving food for the guests. It means the clothes are very important to the waiter, and this will show how to maintain personal hygiene in terms of clothing. For my second point is the food will be served at the table, which is lazy Susan. So that guests just rotate it and can share the food with others. The meals will attractively into the large plates, a rice bowl, and more. So the guests will not bother to line up to take their food. Next is high level of showmanship. The waiters must show their skills to the guests because they want to show how the waiter work face to face and can make sure the guests trust with us. For example, when the guests request something, the waiters have to fulfill what the guest needs. Next is high level of contact between server and guest. The waiter usually know what the needs or wants of the guest because they must serve the guest if they have a request. For example, the guest requests to turn a cool water into a warm water. So the waiter must serve what the guest wants or need. And the last point is Chinese service does not use much food equipment. Chinese service only equipment that will be served is chopstick and soup spoon, unless if the guests have a request to add more like forks or knife. Okay, so next I will explain about the disadvantages for Chinese service. Firstly, Chinese service shows less performance. The server was unable to demonstrate skills in front of the guests because many of guests they want to know how the chef cook their meal and how the meal will be served. This service does not show food offerings like other service cooking in front of the guests. My second point is Chinese cuisine takes a long time to cook. Chinese service have a 10 course to be served, and this will make the guests will wait for a long time and can make them angry. My third point is there are many Chinese recipes and plates needed. This style of service almost use more dishes and as they have to change their dishes for every course except soup and rice. My next disadvantages of this service is Chinese set need a lot of space. This Chinese set usually eat with the large family and require a lot of space. This makes this service quite difficult to serve if the dining area is too small. For example, the server has difficult placing the plate on the dining table due to limited place. My last point is Chinese service style are that highly skilled workers are needed. The server must have talent with various skills to serve. because for this service, there are 10 courses that must be available for this Chinese service. For example, is the waiter know how to cut chicken, fish fillet, shrimp, and others. And lastly, the dishes and how to clean the dining table also have their own way. So for the conclusion that we got from this task is we gain a new experience and know how to be a good manager. And also we need to have a basic knowledge of the type of service event you need to handle. We must know how to serve guests, shortcomings that need to be improved. And also as a good manager, we must set a good example to our staff. In addition, we can add knowledge about this Chinese service. This service is suitable for making weddings and also it with the family in large quantities as many courses will be served. And the last is we hope that we can be an example of the best manager in the future. With all the knowledge we have, we will also can share with other friends. Okay. That's all from us. I hope you guys understand and can get more knowledge from me and my friends. Thank you.
Thank you.